wrote a mystical poem called The Conference of the Birds.
It's a story about the journey of the soul to enlightenment, and it starts off with the birds of the world gathering to decide on who is going to be their king. Now, the wisest bird, Hoopoe, suggests to the birds that they should find the legendary Simurgh, a bird whose stature resembles to that of the western phoenix. So the birds, they decide to go along with Hoopoe's plan, and Hoopoe offers to take the birds on this journey. And in order to meet the Simurgh, the birds must cross through 7 distinct valleys, each with their own challenges and moral teachings. Now, not all the birds make it through this journey. Those who are eventually unable to complete the journey only saw it as an individual one and instead of a collective one, and only took it on due to personal gains. By the end of the journey, only 30 birds remain, each representing a different human flaw which prevents mankind from enlightenment. Flaws which, when put together, actually allow for the birds to complete the journey, not only as individuals, but as a collective group. Now, when the birds reach the end of their journey, they find that there's actually no such thing as a bird called the Simurgh. The Simurgh actually, it means 30 birds. So the entire time, they were journeying to themselves. They encountered one another in addition to their fears and their own challenges. So their experiences influenced their decisions, and as a result, what they were each able to contribute to the journey. Now, today I'm going to talk about a similar journey I am on, one in which I have realized that I am not alone. A journey filled and preceded by many, many encounters, and I'm sure that many of you here today are on a similar journey. And this is a journey also in which one's successes would have not been possible without the support of others. And this journey is behind every man and woman that has ever lived. And I'm going to tell you the story about one of the fiercest leaders of all time. His name is Temujin, or as many of you know him as Genghis Khan. So Genghis Khan rose from humble beginnings to becoming the leader of the Mongolian Empire, and he realized the largest contiguous empire in history. Later on, after he endured a very tough early life, having to deal with the death of his father at a young age, he began making alliances and built a reputation for himself as a fierce warrior, and along the way he attracted a growing number of followers as he was able to unite the tribes of the region and conquered vast lands of Central Asia and China. And each of his successors was actually able to further expand the empire, but that would have not been possible had it not been for the successes of Genghis Khan. And the experiences Genghis Khan encountered with poverty, death, grief, and having to always fight for his own life, in addition to the encounters with his mother, his wife, his kinsmen, and all those who supported throughout his life, including those who he conquered, literally shaped the person who he was and changed the face of the world. Maya Angelou once said, "I stand as one, but come with 10,000. Now, I know that I am no Khan, but I know that I am here today because of the support of my friends, my family, and all those who have supported me throughout my various endeavors, and even those who may have not given me direct support, but still those who have been with me on my journey." So I'll move on to my family. You can see a picture of them up there, my grandparents. So my maternal grandfather moved from India to Uganda and became a successful businessman, establishing a convenience store. So as a result, he was able to provide a pretty comfortable lifestyle for his family. But unfortunately, that comfort was short-lived, as in the early 70s, when Idi Amin came into power, my family was forced to flee from Uganda, and they left with very little. So when my grandfather came here to Canada, he worked countless hours as a parking lot attendant, while my grandmother worked tirelessly as a nanny, all to make a home and to ensure that my mother would be able to pursue her academic endeavors in the future. So my mom, she was fortunate enough to have attended McMaster University, and she went to nursing school there. And after that, she became a nurse at the BC Cancer Agency. She still works there now and continues to transform the lives of her patients every day. And so my mother, she stood on the shoulders of her parents. She stood on the shoulders of her parents and really worked her hardest every single day to make sure that she would be able to make the most out of the opportunities which were presented to her. And my dad's side of the family is very similar as well. My grandparents yearned for a better life, not only for themselves, but also for my father and his aunt. So my dad was able to come here to Canada and study electrical engineering, also at McMaster University, where he met my mother. So given my parents' occupations, they could have easily lived far more comfortable lifestyles than the ones they do right now. But they decided to offer my brother and I this unconditional love and support so that we would be able to receive the opportunities that they never had. I believe that my parents' choice indisputably amounted to an exponential increase in potential for my brother and I. Hopefully that will pay off, but I guess we'll see in the future. But looking at it, not only do I benefit, my brother and I, not only do we benefit from the support of our parents, but we also benefit from the support of our grandparents, who benefited from the support of their parents and their grandparents. And this network of support goes back many, many generations. And just like Hupo created this opportunity for his followers in the poem The Conference of the Birds, our parents, they've put in so much support into us, but we know that they cannot be at our side for the entire time, but they still create as much support as for us as they can, so that they can ensure that we'll be supported throughout our various life endeavors. And here I am telling you about the importance of recognizing the importance of those who play major roles in your life, but I have to admit that I have not always done so. I think I speak for the vast majority of teenagers in saying that we tend to believe that we are all alone on our journeys. We do not always accept the fact, and it is a fact, that there are constantly other people surrounding us and offering us their support. And just like in the Conference of the Birds, where there are the birds who do not complete the journey and they don't seek for support, I think that we teenagers, we forget to seek support when we actually need it, because we think we can just go along our journeys by ourselves. And it really took me until last year to have this realization, and this happened at a camp called Aluma. Now, Aluma is not your typical camp where those who know each other sort of stay in one corner, while those who know nobody they feel like the strangers and they are pushed off to the sidelines. And I know that because I was that stranger. Out of the more than 70 participants in the camp, there were around 6 or 7 here from Vancouver, and out of those I probably knew 2. So I really did not want to be there. But after having gone through the many intimate activities which were presented to us, my perception of Aluma really began to change, because we started to develop our friendships on a much deeper level, arguably much more deeper than our existing friendships. And as a result, we all began to let our guard down and share our most personal and private thoughts, feelings, and experiences. And as a result, it created this sense of trust and love amongst one another. And I had really never seen that before. We developed a true sense of community, of family. We developed a true Ummah. Now, as a result of Aluma, I learned that I am not the only one with my struggles. There are numerous other people who endure the same things in their lives. And just like in the Conference of the Birds, I learned that there are multiple birds who are flying right next to me, willing to give me their aid and willing to offer me guidance through their own knowledge when I am lost, so that I'm able to learn from their experiences as well. Just like Hupo provided direction for his followers, our counselors were there for us all the time. They guided us through this this journey we had at Aluma, and I am here today because of my newfound brothers and sisters. Even after camp, they've provided me with so much love and so much support that many of my successes since then are due to them. And I learned that it's not only my parents who are able to support me, but it really takes a village. The Aga Khan once said at his commencement speech at MIT in 1994, "The encounters that interest me the most are not so simple. In the encounters of people and cultures, much depends on the path that each has taken to that point. The subjects have histories, the encounter has complexity and rich dimensionality. The result of an encounter between two people or between two cultures is shaped by the assumptions of each, by their respective goals, and by the repertoire of responses that each has learned." Now, looking back at camp, I learned that not only did I learn from those who supported me, but I learned just as much from supporting others. So helping others doesn't need to be physically doing something for somebody else. Helping somebody can be as simple as listening to the struggles, the hardships, and the dreams of others, because we have so much to learn from those of others. The struggles, the hardships, and the dreams of others are also our own dreams, hardships, and struggles as well. And this mindset that our society has adhered to is not really flawed, in that it is only the person receiving the help that is gaining, because that is not true. You have so much to learn from others, whether you are a teenager like me, a parent, an educator, a mentor. We all have so much to learn about one another. And I have also realized this after having taught a grade 3 student as a peer tutor for the last year. And having taught her, not only has she learned a lot from me, but I've learned just as much from her. Tutoring her has brought out this creative side and more silly side of me in my daily life, considering that I'm a very serious student and always concerned about my academic life. But from tutoring her, I've become a much more patient and understanding and just overall a better person. So in conclusion, life is a search. You may have no idea for what it is exactly that you are searching, but throughout your life, you will encounter many others from whom you may learn more about yourself and eventually find out what it is for what you are searching for. No matter where you are, just remember, there will always be somebody flying at your side. Every person you meet along your journey will help you get to your destination. Some may be at your side for longer than others, but just remember, there will always be somebody. Whether if you are stuck and you just want to give up, remember, there will always be somebody who is willing to turn back and fly the other way to come and get you so that they can help you reach higher. Whether you are stuck on the world's tallest peak or in the lowest valley, there will always be somebody who is willing to come back to get you. And I hope that you recognize those who have already done so for you, so that you are able to demonstrate your gratitude by doing the exact same for somebody else. So this talk is to acknowledge all the people who have accompanied me on my journey so far, and not just those here with me right now, those who have come before me, and those who are still to come. I'd also like to express my gratitude to my friends, my family members, my mentors, including Ms. Shaneen, for helping me formulate this talk. But whether or not the above people I mentioned are related to me by blood or not, I consider them all to be my family, because family, it goes beyond blood. Family includes those who accept you for who you are and who would do anything to see you smile and love you no matter what. For me, family also includes those who have supported me without me knowing, those who have challenged me to become an overall stronger person, and those who do not yet recognize that I will always be here for them, because we are all here for each other. We are all one community, one family, one ummah. My name is Faaiz Walji. I stand as one, but come as 10,000. Thank you.